Apple is one of the largest technology companies in the world, competing head-to-head with other tech mammoths such as Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft. Nearly 3 of every 10 smartphones sold in the world are iPhones, making Apple the largest smartphone manufacturer in the world. But the smartphone market is crowded, and the iPhone's growth is slowing down, and with increasing competition, it's been harder for Apple to continue innovating as it has in the past. Will Apple be able to maintain its top position in the technology race without iPhone, or will Apple be overthrown by its competitors? Welcome to Stocks Explained, your trusted guide to informed investing. Apple develops many of the smart devices we use every day, as well as the software that runs on them. These include the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac, as well as wearables and accessories like the Apple TV and the Apple Watch. But you already knew that. What you didn't know was that these devices are complemented by a range of services that will become increasingly important, such as advertising, cloud services, and payment services through Apple Card and Apple Pay. These also include subscription-based products like Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, and others. iPhones are Apple's top source of revenue, accounting for 52% of the total, while Macs and iPads account for 10% and 7%, respectively. Services are not far behind, with a 20% share, while wearables and accessories represent a 10% share. Apple's devices can be found in any of its over 500 Apple stores across 25 countries, its online stores, and several indirect distribution channels. The United States and China are where Apple generates most of its net sales, accounting for 37% and 19% of the total, leaving other regions far behind. Apple's numbers have not stopped growing since 2019, reaching massive net sales of $394 billion and a net income of nearly $100 billion in its fiscal year 2022. Although selling smartphones is still Apple's biggest source of revenue, a growing chunk has come from services and its wearables business. These segments increased by almost 70% from 2019 to 2022. How did Apple get here? Well, everything started in 1976, when Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded Apple Computer Incorporated, which was solely focused on the personal computers business. The companies paved its success by developing the next breakthrough of its generation: the Mac in 1984, the iPod in 2001, and the iPhone in 2007. This made Apple become the first US-listed company to be valued at over $1, $2, and $3 trillion in 2018, 2020, and 2022 respectively. Since it was unveiled in 2007, iPhones have been Apple's biggest source of revenue. But the global smartphone market is now crowded, meaning that iPhone's years of rocket-powered annual growth are over. So, Apple's been looking for new ventures that might one day succeed the iPhone, through its services and wearables business. Apple's betting on expanding its services business, which is making a growing chunk of its revenue, and an even larger slice of profits. On the one hand, the tech giant is selling the access to its customers to other companies. For example, Google pays for the right to be Apple devices' default search engine. Apple's also increasing its subscription services ecosystem and persuading those who own its devices to sign up for its own subscription services. This way, when Apple sells its devices, it's also selling a range of subscription-based products that generate solid, high-margin revenues. Momentum for this initiative is so strong that Apple's reportedly working on an iPhone subscription plan, which would offer regular hardware updates for a monthly fee. This could change Apple's whole business model. Additionally, as part of its bet on services, the Silicon Valley giant is looking to offer more financial products, grow its ads revenue, and expand its media business. Apple also believes there's still room for its wearables and accessories business to keep growing. The AirPods and the Apple Watch became the market leader in their space, and now the company is also expanding into the augmented reality headsets market, as well as car interfaces, with the possibility of manufacturing the entire vehicle in the future. Some in the company also predict that its forays into healthcare will eventually rank among Apple's biggest contributions. A huge company like Apple, with so many offerings, global operations, and involved in something as sensitive today as people's data, has many weak spots as well as strong growth opportunities. On the one hand, Silicon Valley's under attack for monopolistic practices, invasion of privacy, subversion of democracy, and more. The App Store has long been accused of anti-competitive, leading to frequent legal disputes for Apple. In addition, analysts believe that pushing into services carries risks. Consumers are not used to subscribing to devices, and Apple would need to find a way to offer subscriptions without alienating the retailers and mobile phone operators through which it currently sells 85% of its iPhones. In addition, services face particularly acute regulatory risks, as European trustbusters circle the App Store. On a positive note, Morgan Stanley's analyst Eric Woodring said that Apple's business model is evolving from maximizing unit growth to maximizing installed base monetization, and that pushing further into services could add another $1 trillion to the company's market capitalization. Additionally, the wearable market offers ample growth potential for Apple. Currently, the company dominates the market with its Apple Watch and AirPods, holding a 29% global market share. Apple's next major investment is in an augmented reality headset. According to an analyst, the company could sell up to 1.5 million units of its AR headset in the first year, priced at $2,000 each, offering a significant revenue source for the company. We've presented Apple's strategy, as well as the analyst's sentiment. Now it's your time to make the call. Will Apple's services model succeed, or should it stick to its core, hardware-based business? This was Stocks Explained. What company should we analyze next? Please let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe.